Well, hello again, it's Michael B. Today, I'm going to show you my 1970 Mercedes-Benz 280 SL, and they call that a pagoda. The reason why they call it a pagoda is because the hardtop, which I do not have on currently, has a curve built into it that looks kind of like a pagoda. It's a wonderful accent to the car. But at this point in the season, you want to have the top off. Mercedes offered several shades of white or cream or ivory. This one happens to be considered straight white. It has the black interior with a salt and pepper carpet. These cars were constructed and engineered impeccably. Built like a vault. The doors open and shut just like they did when it was new. This is a low mileage car. I happen to be the third owner. I've owned it for many years. A very, very good client of mine passed away, and his family asked me if I would like to be the next caretaker. I happily took the opportunity to do so. Now I've had it, let's say 10, 15 years, and I've put some miles on it. Not many. Let me take a good look at the inside here. This is an original, non-restored interior. That's MB Tech seats, which is Mercedes' way of saying vinyl. It's very resilient. You can hear, maybe you can hear the buzzer buzzing because I have the key in. I'll remove that. Look at that delightful dash. All business. Classy. The wood up along the top. I mean, really? That's just so neat. Radio, clock. No jump seats back here. That salt and pepper carpet. Listen to the way this door shuts. It's absolutely fantastic. So this, which is called a 113 chassis SL, came after the 190 SL and of course the 300 SL that everybody's familiar with. It's a gull wing. Sometimes they came in roadsters, 300 SL Roadster. Look at this. This is like jewelry on the dash. Again, the doctor that had owned this car really owned it so he could take pictures of him and his grandchildren. He was a family man, and he really enjoyed sharing this car like I'm doing with you today with his family. So I'm going to treat you guys like family and show you under the hood. Let me open this up. You'll see this hood opens in reverse. Some people think that's odd, but Mercedes-Benz felt that way you could access the engine really well. And now that's a straight 6. And when they say 280, they made these in a 250. They made these in a 230 SL. I've owned all those. The 230 had a delightful little 2.3, which is the 230. Very revvy, super happy engine. I really enjoyed that car. It was a wonderful mount. 250 then was the next upgrade. This 280 seems to be the one that most people really are attracted to. They like that big engine. And I'd only have to guess that's because it's more powerful. As I've said in some of my other videos, the straight 6 is a torquey engine. And this is torquey with mechanical fuel injection. Take a look at that. Now remember, this is an original, unmolested car. I have freshened up the paint, but I've left the mechanicals as such because, again, it's in great shape. A couple of things about Pagoda Mercedes that a lot of people talk about are, for example, the spot welds. Let me show you where these spot welds are. If you can take a look, you'll see the spot weld running along that fender line. That's something that you'd want to look for when you're looking at Pagoda Mercedes. Take a look at the spot welds along this fender line. There they are. Those are very important things to look for. Now I'm going to close the bonnet here. Well, I guess if it were English, it'd be a bonnet. The other thing that people look for in Pagoda Mercedes are these notches. Take a look at that notch right there. You see that notch? That notch is where the headlight bezel lines up with the fender, and those were put in at the factory by the assembling team. Little notch. And you want to find those if you're looking for a Pagoda that you want for something more than just driving. An appreciating asset would have the notches. But don't let that persuade you to not want a car, because there are plenty of really fine driving and fun to own Pagoda Mercedes that don't have the notches. That shouldn't stop you. It's just such a usable car. Very, very, let's say, finely honed. I've got a lot of cars, but this one is probably the one I'd want to drive to coast. It's comfortable and it's very reliable. So much so that I think we'll take it for a drive. How's that sound? Good. Join me. How do you start a Mercedes Pagoda? A 280 SL. Well, we shut the door. We get this Kangol seatbelt. Yep, that's what they call it. We get it set up so it goes over your shoulder. You get the lap portion and you put it together. We're seatbelted in. All right. Now, with the mechanical fuel injection, there's really not much you need to do. Reach up, put that key in the dash. It's really kind of neat, the dash binnacle with the key out of it. Push your clutch in if you'd like. Fire up that 2.8 liter straight six. Give it a little moment to warm up. I'm looking at, it's showing low on the temperature, but plenty of oil pressure. Good 3/4 or at least a third worth of fuel in there. Love the black MB Tex. Nice center console here. As I've shown you before earlier in this video, the glove box, absolutely, you can have all your equipment ready to go for a drive like we're gonna do. This is a manual, they come in automatic as well. I'm gonna click that right up to first. It's a standard H pattern, 4-speed, and off we go. Make sure we release that emergency brake fully. Now these, as I've mentioned on a few of my other videos, have a really neat exhaust note also. I'm going to let you hear that. There we go, into my neighborhood street. It's finally a nice cool day. We've had a super hot summer. Listen. Doesn't that sound nice? These Mercedes straight sixes, not only do they sound good, but it's just like a sewing machine. So precise, so well engineered. No traffic. Out here in the country, you don't have any traffic. Look at the tree covers. It's just wonderful, wonderful way to ride. All right, up a little hill. I'm gonna drop it to second. I'll use a little bit of power to get up the hill. You don't have to rev them far. This has got a 6,500 red line. Now, that's pretty hard to believe for a straight six Mercedes. I've got another car that we're going to show you here shortly that's got a 5,000 RPM red line on a straight six. That one might take you by surprise. You'll see it here shortly. So, one thing about these Mercedes is the suspension is taut yet compliant. Swing axle in the rear, oddly enough, but it works really well. It takes this road wonderfully. This road is probably better set for a farm implement, but in a touring car like this, and you'll note I don't say sports car, SL stands for Sport Light, but even though these had aluminum doors and aluminum lids, the truth is it was still more of a touring car, at least to my estimation. Dropping it down with that manual gearbox. So nice. All right, I'm gonna get on the throttle for you a little bit. That's 5,000 RPM, and I'm back in it. Back to 5,000 RPM. Look at us go. It's sporting. Of course, if you've seen a few of my videos, you'll see I have some sports cars, some actual true sports cars. This one, I consider this more of a touring car again, but it has a sporting flavor. Listen to that exhaust note. Look at the torque. This is fourth gear and I'm torquing right around. 3,500 RPM. Soccer game going on. The corn is super tall. Excuse me. Soccer game. Okay, come down to the shifts. We're coming up onto what is normally a pretty busy road, but it looks like we picked a good time for it. Here we go. Okay, back to the power? Sure. Here we go, up to 5. Nice. Doesn't that sound good? Like I had said, this is most likely the car I'd choose to go across country in. Right now we're running a comfortable 70 miles per hour. It's 3,000 RPM. You've got a really nice ride in comparison with a lot of my other cars. But more than anything, the Mercedes, as I had said, built like a vault, like chiseled out of one chunk of granite. That's something to be proud of. It's just really an enjoyable drive. We're going to turn off here, go back into the corn. Slow it down. All right. Throttle? Sure. Here it comes. Listen to that. Oh. This is driving in a pure form. You have to pay attention. You have to be engaged with the shifter. But again, the suspension allows you to be very precise. As far as vintage collectible cars go, the 280 SL is a premium version. Their values have always been high. They continue to go higher. They attract a lot of attention, and as I mentioned before, they are reliable as a stone. If you were interested in a Pagoda, where my interests are very high in a Pagoda, it is a car you could have in your collection and never be concerned. It is always going to be a car that somebody will want. It'll always be a car that you'll want. And fun to drive. Oh, that's nice. That's half throttle. Okay, we're at the compound. Let me turn into the, shall we go around the skid pad? Let's take a touring car lap around the skid pad. Here we go. Oh yeah. Woo-hoo-hoo. You know, it's a good handler. Maybe it's more of a sports car than I thought. Oh, the Mercedes Pagoda SL. It is just the kind of car that I'd take across country.